Welcome in to this week's episode of Unrolled Stories, a weekly D&D campaign set in the world of Elvoria. We are back with these wonderful humans to roll some dice, attempt some questionable accents, and hopefully tell a decent story. We don't have any announcements this week. The Realms of Wonder Kickstarter is currently working its way out to backers anyway. And we don't have anything new coming just yet. There is a new video up on the channel going through Balrick's class in detail, explaining the Ranger Reimagined and all the design behind that, and hopefully some new ones for the remaining ones should be coming soon, provided I find time to do it. But that is it. So, before we go any further, in this game, we do make use of the Reimagined Classes, which are available on the DM's Guild as a bundle. You can embody Balrick, Lesley, Aderyn, or Ximori at your tables, or whatever other character you want to use. And all NPC art is provided by Aderyn and Giuliani's Adventuring Guild. The character art produced by @LiveDoodles, and the Chibi battle map art, if used, was made by WeTheDreamingDesigns. So definitely do check out them if you can and support real artists. With those announcements out of the way, it is time to continue telling our story. Previously, on the second day of Tianlong, you had ventured into the sewers, found a myriad of things down there, and upon your return to the surface, decided you needed some rest, relaxation, and reward for getting very stinky, diseased, and fighting weird things, and gaslighting an AI. You went to the River of Jade Spa, where you engaged in a level of exhibitionism, as befitting any D&D party, and enjoyed the various commodities on offer, with a small donation to the church as part of the festival. After which, you enjoyed a performance by the Sunlit Waves dueling troupe, and Lesley then proceeded to beat their open champion and gain an offer to join the troupe should they wish at the end of the festival. That night, you went to sleep, and you all had pleasant dreams with a very attractive archfey, trying to explain their rationale and inviting you to an announcement that was to come at the full moon. Pieces of information shared amongst you all, memories and fragments of dreams. You all woke up the next morning with the same song all playing through your heads, trying to hum, whistle, or play it the next morning. You realised that you had all been subjected to a similar dream, and you discussed what you thought of it and what you were going to do next. You came to a conclusion. You didn't even come to much of a conclusion, as you were debating. You didn't know quite enough, and also debating whether it was your problem to deal with in the first place. But it is still the morning of the third day of Tianlong. There is still much of the festival left to do, and the closing ceremonies therein. As we zoom back in on the Horizon Ward to the north of the city, with you all still enjoying breakfast, cooked by, I assume, Balrick, probably. For you all, as you watch the sun peek through the banks of clouds on the third day of Tianlong. What would any of you like to do? on this final day.
What's Balrick made for breakfast?
Omelettes. Massive piles of omelettes.
Jesus.
Thanks for the omelettes, Balrick.
Yeah, thanks, Balrick.
We've got that ball today, haven't we? Like tonight, I think.
We do.
The mascara ball?
Masquerade.
Right.
But I do think mascara wouldn't go amiss on you, Ximori.
I mean, I wear like eyeshadow and stuff sometimes. I haven't tried mascara, I don't think.
Is that eyeshadow? I thought that was dirt.
No.
Black eyes.
I spend time on this in the morning.
Oh, sorry.
I've got 4 hours before you lot wake up.
Maybe you should spend some more time on it.
Okay, well, I'm going to morning mass because I need to do one today. So
I was just gonna go to high five Aderyn for that.
So yeah, I'm gonna go to the mass and I'll see you bastards later. I huffily go to a religious ceremony.
Due to being slightly pressed for time, you probably have to end up hitting one that's just on the exit to the Horizon Ward rather than heading to the main cathedral, but you do make it there in time for Dawn Mass.
We're going to leave soon, right? Like, we're going to leave the city.
Well, we need to work out what we're doing.
Did we want to go and see do we want to try and travel to this place we think the announcement might be, or should we just stay away?
I'd say stay away. We kind of worked out that it would be too far to get to anyway.
It would be a part of the journey.
We'd turn up to the aftermath. Don't really think we should be involved.
I recall there was mention a few minutes ago. There was mention that we might try and contact the hag soon, when our resources become more plentiful.
Go to the place. I don't know if we can make it on time or if we can find some way to get there before it happens to try and stop it. But if we can't tell anybody about it and we can't get there on time to stop it, then at the very least I would like to get there to help whoever's left after.
We know he always likes an audience, don't we? This is Tauri asking people.
So can you repeat that?
We know he always seems to like to have an audience, don't we? He always seems to want people to know and see what he's doing.
Suppose.
In particular, we seem to know he has a infatuation, I suppose, with us. Are we sure we know where it's taking place?
I think we worked out from the what's that thing called? Standard?
Crest?
Crest,
Yeah.
thank you. From the crest where it's likely to be.
Not if I remember correctly.
Well, then I wrote down something and I don't know what it means.
What you
Sister
did
city
discuss.
to Aderyn.
Yes, you mentioned. You remembered that this city of Resmanthal completed construction, or was officially opened, shortly before the original Spirit Fires happened. Whether you have conflated that to be the place that you saw is your doing.
There was something to do with the crest of the swan and the pearl.
Correct.
Was that to do with Resmanthal?
Tauri. Yeah, probably just Tauri. The only one there can roll me a history check.
Not going to be great. History. 11.
11. You're not massively familiar with family crests within the Empire, especially in this area. That being said, you would be fairly confident that you could probably find out that information. It would be on record, either at civic halls or in a public library. Speaking of which, for the sake of plot, the library at the center of the Amaranthian Institute today is having essentially an open day, for lack of a better term. It won't be free access to anything, but it's a kind of outreach program to provide education and knowledge to the general populace.
Not trying to be silly, but isn't that what libraries are always?
Yes,
but it could have been shut for Tianlong.
Yeah, the uni itself has been shut for the first 2 days of Tianlong. It is opening for this event.
So, I don't know who the crest is, but with the library being open, then I'm going to do some research for the day.
I mean, we don't have so much to do before the evening except for getting a pre-drink on. I guess you can do that in a library, right? Quietly.
As long as you're quiet about it, I suppose.
I hear no other objections, so I'm assuming it's fine.
Can I ask what direction the fires had moved? Had they moved towards like Sheodothras?
From the pieces of sporadic information you have had and your general knowledge of the area, they appear to have been fairly random. There hasn't been a rolling wave. Whether there is a specific pattern within that, you would need to essentially spend time cross-referencing maps and other things. You wouldn't have that in your head. But there may be a pattern.
We can get a map from the library.
Yeah, I think that might be Balrick's. Or I might go to the library and do that. Just like, I wonder if there's a pattern to these fires. Because it does seem a bit weird to him and me that it would be like the first town that we were in, and then the Breckling Fields, and then there was a little one. We had our campfire, the one, and suddenly Res Mantle. Like, what's happened?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to look at see if there's a pattern, triangulate, see if we can guess the next location.
Sure. I mean, we can jump to you guys heading to the library if we want, unless there's anything else anyone wants to particularly mention.
Leave a note.
Leave a note for Ximori. Fair enough.
And the things that we ordered were not going to be collected until after.
She's
Tianlong,
legally
right?
not allowed to work on them until tomorrow.
Cool. Also, we have to hang out a bit longer. Shit.
Now, whether she has worked on them in the meantime is her own business, but she functionally cannot complete the transaction until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Togrim, Aderyn, was there anything you wanted to do?
Nothing in particular, no. Resting and waiting for the end of the day.
Okay. You do know, Togrim, that one of the big parts of the festival is there is a large parade that happens during the middle of the day, ending in time for Dusk Mass, basically, that winds its way through the city.
What time are we going to the party later?
The party is in the evening. Technically, for those of you who are of the church, Tianlong ends at sundown.
So the Dusk Mass would be the last thing that happened.
Correct. It's
The party is after Tianlong.
Correct.
Officially.
Okay. So yeah, if Togrim knew that was happening, he would probably join in on that parade, take that last
Harry
mass,
will
as it
also
were.
Go to that last Dusk Mass.
Sure.
Technically, she is practicing.
Cool. Okay. Well, we'll start off at the library. As you head over to the Amaranthian Institute, there is a small crowd having gathered, and you notice along the way... Yeah, bro?
Quick question: how long does it take for us to get there?
Amaranthian Institute's not far from the Horizon Waters, towards the northern end of the city.
Like 10 minutes?
Slightly longer than that.
Okay.
Still a fairly large city.
Cool. I have something that I want to do, but I will want to do it closer and find somewhere to tuck away.
You may struggle to do that, but we'll see. But as you get closer, you say the streets are fairly busy. People seem to be making the most of the final day of Tianlong. A number of the meditating figures have not left their post for 3 days, stationed around the city, taking in everything. People are gathering supplies and heading out toward the refugee camp outside the main gates. People are heading back from Dawn Mass to go about their business. Ximori is on their own, doing whatever. And you eventually arrive at the Amaranthine Institute, which you have seemed to kind of gotten ahead of the crowds a little bit, but you can see a number of families gathering. They seem to be coming here mostly for kind of keeping children entertained during this festival and allowing them to see cool facts. Basically the equivalent of like dinosaur facts and shit, but not quite dinosaurs. Dragon facts, obviously. As you walk in, you are met by a elven woman, kind of long brown hair, slightly greying, wearing kind of simple robes as you approach her. Welcome to the library. What can we help you with today?
We're here for a few things. I'm looking to try and find out what a family crest links with to start off with.
Certainly, that should be fairly easy. If you head over to the index books over there, you should find under crests, and you can find the historical records of the crests of lords and ladies through the Empire. That should be fine. It should be fairly easy to acquire. Anything else?
When I was looking to look at maps of the wider Brickling fields, really, but also.
Are you looking for the current maps or historical?
Current maps, I think, for the most part.
Certainly. If you find come with me. And she walks you over to a kind of, not quite like a booth, but like a table where you can kind of spread out because maps are going to take up space. She goes, if you wait here, so just current maps of the Brickling fields.
Let's maybe have both. A little bit of both.
Any particular landmarks or historical events I should be looking to pull out?
If you got anything around the time of the last set of spirit fires, that's very important. And I'm looking maybe at old forests and old sort of natural landmarks that might have been moved or removed.
Certainly, I'll see what I can find. You just wait here. Tauri, roll me an investigation check at advantage, and Balrick, for the sake of it, roll me an investigation and add 4 to see what maps you can find. I'm letting you roll for her.
Investigation, you said?
Yes, as you go digging through and trying to
17.
find 17.
She got a 16.
Nice. Tauri, yeah, it doesn't take you long until you find a book on kind of contemporary crests of of noble families within the Empire, specifically the Brickling Fields, and you start digging through it, and you come across. It takes you a short while to flick through, but you're scanning and looking at all these crests, and you eventually do come to a family with a crest that is familiar to what was mentioned in a pearl clutch within swan wings on a blue field, which is the family, the Badenoch family, specifically Lord Badenoch of Bandair.
I will copy the crest across into my notebook, and then I will go searching for any history to do with the family and the location.
Sure. You roll me history or investigation, your choice. Balrick, with 16, she comes back with an armful of maps for you from varying points throughout history. Grabbed a modern contemporary one, which kind of details everything as it stands. About a decade ago was when it was done. and then varying ones, including ones from shortly before the previous Spirit Fires, so about 100-year-old map, and another map which details kind of, or at least a believed outline of the old forest that once stood across the Brecklin Fields, kind of overlaid as to what there is now as a kind of historical kind of comparison between the two.
I'm looking for any, like, in the forest one specifically, I'm looking for any, like, important seeming sites, maybe places that were avoided in the last Spirit Fires.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe there's specific locations of importance.
Roll me an
or maybe
Go on.
or maybe looking for. I'm looking for maybe a next target, but also any important places, places that might seem important to Amrin.
Sure. Roll me an investigation check.
10 plus 6, 16.
Fair. Just to check, anyone else here, in case there was anyone wanting to provide advantage, with just a thought.
Lesley is here and drinking.
Don't think that grants advantage.
What? No.
What's Aderyn doing?
Through the bookshelves, and she's just gonna pick out books based on vibes.
So not providing advantage. So we've got two people here, neither providing advantage.
Yeah.
But between us, we're not disadvantaging you.
That's valid, I suppose.
That's kind of advantage.
Aderyn, you let me know what books you find. I'll let you think on that.
Is Togrim here?
Togrim going for the parade and stuff.
Togrim's going and got a good position at the parade line.
But maybe Ximori has finally found us.
Nope.
Sorry, man.
16. With a 16, you start overlaying the maps. Bear with me.
I did love that Furious Baldur's Gate style scramble for Shadowheart cast guidance. Oh god, I've got to have something here.
Do I have a scroll? I don't know. Balrick, you start kind of comparing the maps and essentially like overlaying them from each other and flipping back and forth. And it's slightly frustrating at some point because you don't necessarily have reference as to where the old fires happened. You're essentially trying to map it based on two maps that are 100 years apart and figuring out where they happened from that. So at some point you do ask for like an actual reference to where the previous books happened, which takes a little bit of time to just eat into your day a bit. But you do start looking at it, and the position of the previous fires felt a lot more specific and targeted would be a good word, where it definitely seemed to roll from the eastern side of the fields, west and north up towards where Mount Thorn now stands. Now, it's still within that, from what you can see, wasn't like a singular wave. It definitely sprung up in spots and then kind of grew, but it definitely headed in that direction. What's different based on the reports that you've heard and other people have recorded about this one is it not only appears to be a little more all over the place, it doesn't necessarily link up, and when the fires spring up, they're not connecting into a province-wide fire like they did previously. They're kind of springing up and then petering out, which is weird and definitely different. Roll me a subsequent investigation. Yeah, we'll call it survival.
Do I like you or not for that?
I'll let you choose between the two.
Very similar. If you let me choose, I'll choose investigation.
Yeah.
It's only 1 point in it.
Go for it.
21.
21. The thing you do start piecing together is you do have that natural landmarks map as well. And what it is it seems to be pockets of natural landscapes, natural landmarks that survived despite the Empire's expansion and the removal of the ancient forest that spread across the Breclian fields in the effort to replace it with growing fields. And those pockets, when you start lining it up with where you've marked the fires that you've heard about or the events you've heard about, they are remarkably close. There are basically fonts of strong nature nearby to where a lot of the fires currently seem to be springing up.
Okay. That's a lead.
Tauri, what did you roll on history, I believe it was, or whatever?
18.
18. Badenoch family is a relatively minor family. They have existed for a long time, but have never really changed station within it. The town of Bandar is in the eastern, on the eastern side of the Breclian Fields, practically part of the Dragon Crest coast. Kind of flirts with the road that separates the two. On the map of the Breclian Fields, there is slightly northwest of San Roykar, a small kind of hill range with a lake nestled in the bow of it. Bandar is stationed on that lake, and what it is a hub town. So
Okay.
it's
In the middle of everything.
yeah, it's almost like a Birmingham connecting all of the kind of mining and sheep growing towns kind of thing. It's not quite a city by any means, but what it does is it connects all of the farms and growing villages around as a central point where they all bring their resources for market days, etc., or the agricultural commission, at which point it then gets moved around from there. So it is a hub point for the community in that area.
And can I work out how far away it is?
Yeah, let me double check my map, and I will get back to you. Meanwhile, while I do that, Aderyn, what books have you found?
Live children's section.
Absolutely. I mean, this whole thing is designed for children today, so...
Excellent. Do they have any books, like any stories about dragons, like with any pictures or anything in the children's section?
Aderyn wants a picture book, yeah?
Yes. She's looking for the fairy tales that the kids are being encouraged to read. So I think she's gonna like not stalk the kids, but she's gonna observe them for a while. And whichever books the librarians are like pushing onto the kids of like learn about dragons with this, read this story. She wants to read those. So
What's
They're
all in Draconic?
Yeah, I mean, definitely you can find those books. A lot of them, not all of them, but a decent chunk of them are not necessarily a series, but themed around the Ordo Draconis knights as like a folk fairy tale of the Empire, of these knights that existed to protect dragons from people who would seek to rob them or hunt them or otherwise bother them when dragons want to remain distant from humankind, kind of thing.
Anti-dragon botherers.
Yeah, they're like the bouncers to the Dragon Club, essentially. Now they are just a folktale, a children's story, but they kind of get spun into these honourable knights who protect the protectors almost, because that's what dragons are. Dragons are the protectors of the material plane, such that we can all live and thrive upon it, and these are the ones that make sure that our efforts don't interfere with dragons. While you look at that, I will just give Bryn a rough answer. 8 days a week if you travel quickly. It's
When did he say the thing was happening?
Full moon is in 8 days.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little over 8 based on rough journey, but if you travel quick, you could do it. Your problem is you have stuff here tomorrow. Yeah, anyways.
Lesley does have a thing
Oh, yeah.
that he's going to use incidentally just to allow him to flirt with the presumably incredibly attractive librarian.
She's a librarian. She's got the cute round glasses.
Nice.
Isn't saying is it's Mrs. Who did Robin Williams not play?
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Doubtfire?
Yes. Couldn't remember.
Who's not a librarian.
No, I was just however, the librarian looks like Mrs. Doubtfire. She's got the cute glasses,
hello,
but the rest.
dearie.
She's got a certain charm,
Books.
certain grandmotherly charm. So Lesley.
Oh, sorry, somebody over there's lost a book. Help is on the way, dear.
So Lesley will approach a little bit sheepishly.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, so actually, I have a son who's a little bit. He's very particular in what he wants, and when I came up here, I promised I'd bring him back some fun stories, from North. And one of the things he's really particular about is he really likes stories like myths about like magical creatures, and he's a real sucker for a tragedy. So he, this is a weird one for him, but he asked about like stories about people sort of losing their queens in like a magical way. I was wondering if you'd heard of any stories like this, because I'm really bad at telling stories myself. I swear to God, if you roll insight.
No, I was trying to see whether she knew of any.
Okay.
No stories come to mind. I mean, stories about loss and the like are certainly common. I don't seem to recall any of a queen being lost to magic. Can you possibly be more specific?
This is a hypothetical, of course. My son's he's got very particular tastes. But I mean, if you have any like books on, I guess myths of the sort of like magical kind. We're not so weird about that stuff in the south, it's okay down there.
Right, certainly. We have some, although they tend to be more on the magic is dangerous and how best to.
Well, of course. We're all in agreement of that here.
Well, try this. And she pulls out a kind of a green covered book with kind of plant-like filigree and detailing and like paintwork on the front. And it's basically spirit stories of fae and fae folk. And basically, as you like kind of flick through it, it's a book on like the fae tricking people, the fae people who don't listen to the warnings and end up making deals that they can't possibly follow through with, or making deals that they don't understand and being tricked. And a lot of it is quite parable of be careful of people who lace magic and mischief into their words, because you'll never know what you're getting into.
Nothing that sort of strikes rings a bell.
I suppose what you're trying to glean, there may be information within a children's book of folktales. Just depends what you're trying to look for.
I want to learn a bit more about this stuff that that Amrain was talking about. That he was trapped in ice for a long time, and his queen is dead for some reason. These are the 2 sentences I have here.
Fair enough. I suppose roll me an Arcana check. And DC is going to be odd.
The DC could be a 1. That's odd. Arcana. Ooh. Any chance that could be anything but Arcana?
Nope.
I have new dice, but I'll do this.
Fair enough.
Online plus.
Aderyn, feel free to name any other books that you find as well.
But did she find a book that's got stories about the Fae and a man being trapped in ice?
Not even looking for that, sadly. No, she's gonna fixate on these protectors. She's gonna try to figure out, like, was there anything special about them? Like, did they have any powers? Did they have any abilities, or was it just normal people that signed up to a club?
Roll me a history check as you kind of ask questions and pull out other books and the like.
So the front row of the kids, like, interrupting to ask questions.
I've got a very strong imagery in my head. Like, everyone's sitting cross-legged on the floor, and they're just like head and shoulders above all these kids.
Very elf. Beginning of elf.
Yes, exactly that.
By the way, I've been checking the notes. So we met up with Amrain at the end of the second
day leaving Narray. Yeah.
Of Narray. Then we mentioned that on the second day, Togrim finds disturbed Earth. So I'd say that's 2 days. And then there's at least another day, so I think 3 days.
3 days to get to the crossroads.
Yeah,
and
from the crossroads to Dothras, I think was 3 days.
Yeah, then another day to get to Samrock. Yeah, you're looking about 8 days if you travel quickly. Like, 8 days if you don't lose time, to be clear.
Is there any way we can gain time?
You can travel quickly, you can travel additional hours, attempt to force march. You can, I don't know, try and find the hidden parts of the Fae. Teleport. Get Joanna to fix a rational compass and just walk you there.
Artist.
Yeah. Aderyn, what did you roll?
A nat 1.
A nat 1. The librarian reading out the stories kind of humours you and then quickly kind of deflects back to these are just fun kids stories. That, like, don't look too far into it.
That's a plot hole. How does that make sense?
Librarian telling the story is like, okay, can you tell me where the adult versions are then, please?
Suddenly she like gets the attention of one of the other librarians, and they kind of start showcasing you other places. At this point, you've been
take you by the elbow and lead you away from the children.
At this point, you have been here a few hours. You have been here a few hours now doing this research in like little scattered places and stuff. So you kind of all come back together with at the table that Balrick was on to potentially kind of discuss things and your various findings. Lesley, what did you roll on Arcana again? 3.
Was it 3? It's an odd number.
It is an odd number. You look through it. A lot of it seems quite contradictory at times as to how to deal with Fae. Like, some talk about like having salt water and a drinking fountain. Some talk about kind of copper wind chimes. Some talk about using iron door handles. Some talk about talking in doublespeak and finding the alternate interpretations to rules and games that they play that are beyond even their kind of comprehension and stuff. There's a lot of like there's elements of like, don't enter into a riddle game with a Fae, or enter into a riddle game but use mortal comprehension, and like it's flips and flops, and it's trying to pass which ones are actually useful and which ones are just wives' tales.
Leslie's just skimming, so whenever he sees like a word, he's like, oh, this is good. This is good. Iron door handles, let's go. Doublespeak, yes, sounds good. Riddles? I mentioned it several times, gotta be good. But there's nothing. He gets nothing from it, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Fun story for the kid.
Yeah. So, you all meet back up. It is getting late in the morning at this point. So those of you who wanted to attend the parade, you kind of need to start thinking about heading out to the main streets. Obviously, Togrim has already grabbed a great seat such that his tiny form can see the parade instead of being stuck behind everyone else. Ximori, what have you been up to?
I think after I've been to the mass, I don't have much money. I need to go buy new makeup, I think, because they're taking the piss out of my current makeup.
Oh.
Nowhere's open.
Yeah. I just sort of like look around and I'm just like trying to like pick up or like trying to like remember what like the formal like styles used to be around like 40 years ago when I was vaguely aware of that sort of thing. And yeah, eventually just sort of come across like see all the bits being laid out for the parade and try and find a seat there.
By chance, you run into where Togrim is settled down, just for ease. Togrim, where did you find? So, the parade starts from the Lunar Gates, the gates in which you entered in Geodothras on the southwest side of the city, and then winds all the way through the streets, ending at the cathedral at the heart of the city.
I think I would have gone to find somewhere near to the cathedral, see sort of the end of the parade. And then I'd be close to at the cathedral for the mass as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I tell you what I've done in the meantime. After not being able to find that, I briefly went back to the house to find the note and see they've all gone to the library. And I'll take that time to re-dye my hair back to the sort of red, sort of wine-coloured red again.
Love it.
Before I go out and find Togrim.
So the four of you at the library have met back up with Balrick's maps in time for you all to discuss things before Tauri runs off to join the parade.
Yeah, I think I'll bring up the different locations, and I'm going to highlight, well, these are potential new locations because they have this strong element of nature. I'm assuming one of them is this town that we're on about.
There is there does appear to be what looks like a font of nature close to that town.
I'll say what I found out, but also say that time will be tight unless we push.
How tight?
It's 8 days. Travel.
And we've got 8 days.
So if we want to pick up our items, we will need to cut down on some rest.
We'll just have to travel hard. People could sleep in the wagon, take it in shifts.
Maybe push as far as we can and then rest up for a night or two before we get there. Make sure we arrive fresh.
Well, yeah, as fresh as we can.
Anyway, I'm off to a parade.
Yeah, I think you guys should all try and enjoy yourselves since we've only got 1 day now before a pretty miserable week, it seems.
What about you?
I'll try as well. I'm not going to be comfortable in the city either way, but...
Important question, where's Dak?
Dak is with him at all times.
Cool.
I'm fending off crowds of it. I'm not having a good
Let's
time.
put it this way, a number of kids are sleeping on him, having been lulled to death by the children's stories.
Lulled to death? That's a problem.
Lulled to death, wow.
My God. These librarians are evil.
Dak is just chomping on their deceased limbs. No, Dak is loving
They get power through boring people to death.
Dak is loving the attention of kids petting him.
Balrick is less so. Balrick is like, yeah, I'm gonna struggle to like these next few days. I'll be honest, I'm sure you guys are looking very forward to tonight. I'm dreading it, but we'll survive.
Cool. You all find places for the parade at various spots. Ximori and Togrim together, the rest of you together, relatively nearby, but you can't quite find each other before things start going off, and you can hear the sound of the parade approaching from the other end of the city. as music and wind chimes are caught upon the air of brass instruments and reverberating gongs as everything moves through the city. You begin to see like tassels and then ribbons flying through the air, even above the tall buildings and through the gaps in between. There's this anticipatory hush of excitement as the parade is coming around. I'm going to ask each of you to name something that turns up in the parade.
I thought you were going to say roll initiative then.
I think, to steal from real world, that we would see a Chinese style dragon thing. You know, that you see at like events. Probably a dragon that's well known with the city, rather than a random one. Something that helped out the city in some way.
Yeah. That's the first thing coming around as it leads the parade through of this winged bronze dragon coming through in the classic design, with like sparks of lightning arcing off it as some kind of effect is being played over the top of it as it comes around the corner as this audible gasp as this figurehead of seemingly the city's history comes into the Grand Plaza.
Do you think there'd be some like cool like shirtless fire spinners or something?
I was just about to say that, and I was do so.
Were you going to say shirtless? Because I felt like you weren't.
I was going to say fire breathers though as well. So, but
okay.
They'd be doing both.
Together.
They'd be doing fire tricks. Yeah.
Fire tricks and half naked.
Sure.
You can have that one.
Glistening torsos.
Thank you.
And very short, fabric skirts almost, as they dance and move through the streets. Occasionally, members of that troupe throw powders into the fire, changing its colour into purples and greens and blues of different hues, just adding an element of mystique and
not
magic specifically to the fire dancing displays.
Like a huge wagon style, but like bigger thing with like banners of the church, and there'd be like priests or whatever on top with like a bunch of kids dressed in like the same uniform colours, and then like following them there'd be a bunch of drummers.
Nice.
There'd be like signs being like, I don't know, be good.
Yeah. Along this wagon, they have co-opted crystals to be placed along the wagon as almost an homage to Derek's presence within the city and the specific nature of this festival, as they're all there, each with... It's probably not like true crystal, definitely not diamond or anything like that, but clear glass. It is catching what is the light and occasionally from the fire dancers in refractive glances out.
There are also stilt walkers, but the stilts are like large metal poles, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So every time they step, there's a sort of gonging sound.
I love that. Love that so much. As it just reverbs off the street floor and the tall buildings across, as this cacophony of noise somehow ends up in this harmonious, complete orchestra, despite the chaos and pageantry of it all. It's not deafening, it's just uplifting and unifying in all of its nature.
There is also... Do we know what a huach is?
A what?
A huacha. It's like an old... I think Korean or Japanese or something, like moving cannon, but it's not a cannon, it's like loads of little fireworks.
Yes!
It's like a moving firework cannon, but it's like loads of tiny ones, so it's like a moving firework display.
To all of you, except Tauri, this is brand new. You have never seen this before. Tauri, you have only caught wind of these things as part of a festival in Citruside to the south of your hometown, of And Togrim, you've heard of the concept of gunpowder, but not seen it used in this way, as these displays of bright, sparking colours go off in the varying hues of gem dragons as they spark off above. And the stilt walkers are just getting rained on by these sparks as they come through. And they whistle through the air as they're kind of slightly hollowed out to provide more musical tone to everything.
Wow.
Togrim, did you want to add anything?
I was thinking there might be a military section to the parade, because they're currently actively recruiting for a big campaign. At least this year, this time, it would be included, or something tacked on the end or something.
Someone's paying attention. Inspiration for paying attention.
Yeah. Hey, I added the vaguely religious, horrifying metal poles that create thunder noises.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. The Stormcrest are part of this. A troop from Fort Sire, that's just outside the city, is marching through in full regalia. The blue horsehair crests on the top of their helmets catching the light and seemingly sparking with lightning in between as part of what gives them their name. The crowd is enraptured by them, and definitely there is a strong sense of national pride, and you're certain that probably definitely will end up recruiting a great number of people to the armed forces and the crusade to come. At the end of it, the parade eventually gathers up, and in a final display of music and colour, it comes to a halt, and the members of the church that were on top of that wagon head up to the steps in front of St. Astragine's cathedral, and there is a very brief sermon. It's almost like they are letting the parade itself do a lot of the talking rather than anything. And it is a sermon of generally giving thanks to the community as a whole, to the harmony that everyone has found in these last few days, and the beacon of hope that this festival can be as we head into the darker period of the year and the winters, and reminding everyone that even when it doesn't feel like it, she is encircling us, protecting us, and guiding us on our journeys of self-discovery. There is a then extended period of silence, of self-reflective thought, followed by a rumble of thunder that seems to roll out from the cathedral and out into the plaza, whether it is musical instruments or some divine trick. It is almost a symbol as it rumbles, as the burnt oranges of the sun setting spreads over the city, and eventually you begin to see the twinkle of starlight behind the clouds, and the festival comes to an end. What would you like to do now?
I suppose we'll head back and need to get dressed. Or changed, rather.
As you leave, everyone else is obviously leaving the streets in the central cathedral. And there is a genuine sense of complete togetherness within this city. Everyone seems to fully feel unified, and everyone is helping each other and moving together. There's not like a crush of people trying to leave a stadium or anything like that. Everything is just moving gently out and through. Conversations are happening, goodbyes are happening as people split off. And it generally does feel like people are connected within this empire. This empire there's a reason it has stood for 7 centuries unified by a singular religion. Even if some people might view it as oppressive and expansionist, those within it do feel a sense of community and harmony and togetherness beneath that banner.
Geth is still trying to convince us not to burn down the Empire.
You can burn down the Empire. It is an expansionist empire. It is morally grey, but I'm just saying that, like, there is a reason that the people follow this religion. It's not just forced upon them.
Yeah.
I think Ximori is just having a little cry at like having got to experience this for the first time in a decade. And just feeling like they feel part of something again, like part of something larger again, as opposed to just being on the outside. Yeah, just quiet streams of tears that they're not doing anything about. They're just openly eyes are openly streaming as they walk back.
There is a number of songs being sung as people walk back, of communal hymnal songs that you know having grown up. All three of you do. That everyone finds themselves singing as they walk.
So it's officially dusk is past. It's the end of Tianlong. I think maybe it'd be, if we need to get out of here quickly, maybe we should give Marina a visit.
I was just thinking that. Let's go see if...
At least her cat.
How's that magic shop lady?
Hey.
Okay, I'll go and get. I need to do my makeup anyway.
It's all... The festival's technically over now, isn't it? People can work.
We could at least buy our stuff if she has it ready.
Yeah, the sun's gone down now, so it's over. So if she's there, then, you know, it's quite late though.
We can try.
We haven't been to the bank.
Worth trying.
have we?
Yeah.
You have no electrum on you.
Do we have no electrum on us still?
No, the bank was shut.
Motherfucker.
So we definitely have to wait till tomorrow.
Is there any chance the bank would open after dusk?
No.
Have you ever been to a bank?
It's
I'm surprised there is a
literally a bank holiday right now.
Every day's a bank holiday.
I mean, do you still want to go to the Wormseal and see whether you can get a progress update or something like that, or do you just want to head back to your accommodation?
Yeah, it might be worth going there regardless of money, just to see if it will be available tomorrow or if there's no point waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe we can leave a forwarding address.
You head to the Wormseal, and the ornately carved wooden doors and bronze discs on the wall await you there. It is locked, but you can obviously try knocking. There's a short wait before you hear a trio of heavy locks unlock, and peering out from behind is the white-haired human woman with the kind of bronze irises. Oh, hello. Wasn't expecting anyone today. Can I help?
We just wanted to drop in and see how it's going.
Certainly, come inside. Let us do business sitting down.
We don't want to disturb you for too long. It's just that it turns out there might be some pressing matters we might have to attend to outside of the city in the coming weeks. So we need to head off as soon as possible tomorrow.
Right, so you're asking me to expedite the order, are you?
I guess maybe more of a progress update as to whether or not it could be available tomorrow.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Wait, can I use my
Yes.
feature that makes me more persuasive?
Commanding presence.
Thank you.
Yes, you can.
Cool. Let's try, and then persuasion.
So like an early 2000s anime secret ability then.
Well, okay. Without commanding presence, it is 23.
Without. Jeez.
Should I add it anyway? Okay, we're gonna have a long rest later.
Charismatic as shit party.
Yeah, boy.
Yep.
Dumb as
super
fuck.
charismatic.
26.
26. She looks you up and down and just immediately approaches you, just like, I'm not going to have any problems with you, am I? Yes, I have been working upon your request. No, it is not finished. Yes, it can be ready for first thing in the morning. I would appreciate a little grace and favour because of it. But I can work through the night and have it ready for first thing.
That would be amazing. By grace and favour, do you mean extra grease?
I'll leave that up to you.
Such a way with words, Lesley.
Have we got a
Leslie's actually intimidated because he's actually talking to an attractive person for once, rather than hitting someone below his level.
Below.
Leslie just reaches into a bag and pulls out some grease. Just a handful of loose grease.
Just in the hair.
You can also inform the performer friend of yours that I acquired all 3 of those scrolls for her.
I should be happy to hear that. Thank you very much.
At this point, you see Raleigh the cat just winding through the table legs of the long table at the centre of the thing. And then just walking up and just like sitting down and just observing the 2 of you very patiently. Next, like at the feet of Marina. Was there anything else?
No, I think that about does it.
Excellent. Well, you know where I am. I will open shortly after dawn tomorrow. I trust you'll bring something of thanks as we continue to build this budding business relationship. And she begins walking you back to the door, and Raleigh winds in between your legs as you walk, all 3 of you, up to the door. Door opens. Raleigh intentionally does not cross the threshold and just watches you walk out.
Is that a bit?
Lesley is going to silently stare. Kit Raleigh really wants to touch that cat, man.
Do you try?
No.
It's winding in between
Because
your
it would-
legs as you walk.
He's doing a little smile. He's like trying to keep a stern dad mouth, but he's doing a little like smile
Fair enough.
as the cat winds itself around. Yep.
The rest of you, I assume you've all been getting ready for the masquerade ball. What is the look that everyone has again?
Oh, we've all got waistcoats.
All the men have waistcoats.
Waistcoat
Yeah,
corsets.
Aderyn's outfit was exactly the same, but in super bright gold instead of purple.
But this is important that you all need to tell me the colour palette swap, or more specifically tell Emma the colour palette swap so she can go and do it.
So
There is no colour palette swap. We're wearing exactly the same clothes.
I'm joking.
So I tried doing something on
Paint.
no, not on paint, on Hero Forge. I'm not entirely happy with it. The colours aren't quite what I was envisioning. But this is the rough idea I had for Tauri.
Where?
Ooh.
We have so many
in-game
chats.
chat.
In-game chat, where
I
it's
had that chat
supposed
open, but I didn't see it bold. Oh, I love it.
Ooh, that's pretty.
I will always support crop tops. On any gender, to be clear.
Gethin's not fussy, he just wants to see the tummy.
Left, I love it.
It's like a belly button, man.
That's very easy in most of my shirts.
You got a long
So
torso.
what we're hearing is Gethin's ultimate dream is to marry Winnie the Pooh.
I'm
Yes.
just saying, I am the perfect Winnie the Pooh man.
Look, Honey is great. He's extremely friendly. Got a lot of friends.
He's a bit narcissistic though.
Pussy is always out.
There's shirt cocking and there's what Winnie the Pooh does.
He is a sex criminal. Yes.
To be clear, actually, we're only allowed to talk about the one that doesn't have a red t-shirt, so he's not even wearing a crop
So
top.
that one's just fully nude at all times.
Yeah. That one's at the spa. Anyway.
There's no black bar for Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, bother.
Demonetized.
He wants to go deep in your 100-acre wood, if you know what I mean.
Please stop. Winnie the Pooh has a very special place in my heart, and you are hurting me very dearly.
Winnie the Pooh will happily take a special place somewhere.
Nope, stop. Stop. Very upsetting.
Okay.
Traumatizing me.
Any other outfit announcements from various people other than the various waistcoats?
So, Ximori's tried a new makeup look. Based on what you saw on somebody who seemed very important, roughly sort of 15 years ago. There's basically two, like, just black lines down the face, and then one basically, like, through the center of the face, but stopping, like, from the bottom lip, then, like, to the forehead. It's, like, vaguely, like, it's something that they probably saw in, like, in the Jade Knight Church at some point. Not as, like, a religious iconography, but as, like, a fashion of the time.
Okay. Anyone else?
So it's a little bit out of date.
Slutty corset. Leslie's wearing a white shirt, but it's very, very sheer. Very sheer.
Love it.
How
but there's
visible
obviously
are the nipples?
Well, not very, because there is a corset waistcoat, as all of the male... Everybody can wear if they want, but it was purchased for all of the blokes at the party and Ximori, if they so happen to want. I know you were thinking of the dungarees, but...
No, you know, I don't get the chance to wear the waistcoat much, so I'll wear that. And besides, Aderyn's still got my dungarees.
They've been burnt, I'm sorry.
Oh, what?
Just extreme prestidigitation, just disintegrated them.
She tried to prestidigitate them clean, and they just disintegrated.
Yeah.
The dirt was holding them together.
Balrick, Togrim?
I think that other people would going to get to decide what I'm wearing, because Balrick would not have chosen an outfit. He does not know anything about it.
That's true.
So I think Aderyn, he would have gone like, Aderyn and Lesley, it's up to you.
Dress me.
Montage.
I mean, that's what this is, yes.
I remember Togrim would wear the waistcoat over his shirt, but I can't remember what color it was. I was trying to look in the document for which one was picked for him, because he just kind of went, oh, okay, I guess. But he would be wearing like a clean shirt with a waistcoat.
I think my colour scheme was sort of red, black, and gold.
Sapphire one was for Togrim. Balrick got a mud green one.
Mud green.
Whatever colour that is.
Balrick was gold and forest green, Lesley was gold and green/blue, Togrim was gold and sapphire blue, and Ximori was crimson, red, and gold. I take notes.
Basically.
The important things.
We look like a squad.
And Tauri had a navy blue leather jacket as well.
Yeah, I can't find that to go over the thing in the.
But that's for the walking to the party kind of over the shoulders.
Yeah, you know, that's the what's it called?
Beer jacket. Cool.
She's gonna like very nervously like she's a bit like not panicky, but like she's restless, so she's gonna just like start giving Balrick some pointers on like what to do when she gets overwhelmed. She's gonna be like a really good trick is to like you just say you're thirsty and you go get the punch, but you don't get the punch, you just go outside. Or you say, oh, I'm feeling dizzy from all the dancing, and you go outside. Or you say, oh, 1 second, someone's calling me, and you go outside. Basically, you have to get outside, because then the voice is quieter, you know?
I think different reasons, but I think I will take that advice. It's good advice. I think I'll need the outside a lot.
I don't know what this says about me, but that's like my strategy for any school disco I went to.
Yep.
And Lesley will.
How tangled is Balrick's hair usually?
He's got all right hair. He's got a top knot.
It's never come out the top knot. The hair tie has become part of the hair. It's grown around.
I was gonna say, like, I try and like brush out Balrick's hair to like style it, but it's just kind of like
He keeps his hair clean. He washes his hair and takes it down.
Yeah.
Yes. Balrick regularly washes.
Does he wear it down for the ball, or does he wear it up?
Let's put our hair in rollers.
He's not putting his hair in rollers.
Give him a perm.
He will wear
Rollers
it
and
down
then back
for the
in the
ball.
top knot.
He will wear it down for the ball.
Wear it down. How long does it come down
I know, I'll
when
give
fully?
it
I'm imagining Chris's old passport photo.
No, I think the old foot. He wears the bottom half of it down anyway, so it shouldn't be much longer. It's just
Like
more voluminous.
Love it.
Thick.
so
Anyway.
no longer covering the bald patch.
There is a knock at the door at that moment.
Oh, it's probably Tarquin. Wait, this isn't Ximori's voice. Oh, it's probably Tarquin.
Lesley will rush to open it.
As you open the door, standing in front of you is a turquoise and orange scaled dragonborn in absolute finery and wearing a full snouted goose mask. It's very hard for a dragonborn to get a masquerade mask. And Tarquin's just like, well, look at you, dear Lesley. Aren't you just fabulous? Come on, let me in.
Oh, of course, but I think I would be remiss not to say that, wow, this is quite an astonishing outfit. You look incredible.
You see him in this lilac Chinese collared coat with kind of brass stitched piping all the way through. They're just like swirls in wave patterns and like stitched in seabirds, almost creating a kind of display within a pattern. Well, they do say the tailors here are quite good, and I happen to pay for the best ones, so I think most of us could probably do with a drink before entertaining an entire masquerade party full of stuck-up nobles and my parents. So I brought some wine.
I'm putting on
Never
my
said
dog
no to
mask.
wine.
He pulls out 4 bottles of rosé.
I'm just gonna hesitate because, like, on the one hand, she usually uses the alcohol to like cope with so that like it quiets her mind so she can actually interact with people. On the other hand, she told herself she was gonna stop drinking after what happened with Balrick. So I think she's not gonna grab a glass yet, but she's like hesitating. She's like,
Tarquin does start pouring a glass for everyone by default, but it's just 7 glasses out. I can do maths, yes. 7 glasses are out, filled. Those who would take one can take one, others are left behind. Tarquin doesn't comment on anything left behind.
I think
Aderyn,
Lesley
do you
will
have me
pick
put
up.
on my mask? For some reason, it's designed so that you can only somebody else can put it on and take it off. It's really fiddly to get to.
Certainly. Odd master buy, but hey, I'm not one to judge. Come
I
here.
don't have
What
any
more
masks.
masks are we all wearing?
We've got the 7 gimp masks I bought.
Ah,
Did we not? That's a separate question. Did we know we were going to a masquerade party when we did the clothing?
No.
no.
That's fine.
Well, I'm certain.
It wasn't originally going to be a masquerade ball until we bought the gimp masks.
Yeah, that is correct. Well, I'm certain we can figure something out. I imagine there's something lying around here. He just starts like looking around, and just like his eyes settle on the curtains. Let's see if we can find anything else. If not, it's a decent fallback option.
I don't some fabric from somewhere and she's just gonna make a veil.
Nice.
She's gonna like hang it over her. Seriously.
Can I try and like basically using my disguise kit to use some of like the hair dye in there to basically try and like paint like a sort of vague like wolf design
On
like
the
in
mask
like red
you've
and
got.
gold onto the mask I've got on.
Yeah, make me a dex check. I guess.
Oi.
Charisma check? I don't know. How good are you at drawing?
Anyone gonna help me?
Yeah, I'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm proficient with disguise kit as well.
Ooh,
Nice.
2 19s.
Oh, wow.
I am also proficient with the disguise kit. So that's
Be
my
more artist
proficiency
supplies,
with disguise
but
kit is 21 plus performance. Was that?
it would technically be artist supplies would be the proficiency.
Okay.
But it's still a decent roll. As you make a worryingly close... Those of you who have seen Ximori up close when they're not in control, there's some worrying similarities, whether subconscious or not, in the design, but it is striking, nonetheless. I'm certain it's going to turn some heads, and possibly draw attention. That's up to you. I suppose most people want it. I definitely do want attention.
Well, I've done it now.
Well, excellent. Just let's not engage in a bit of predator-prey during the night, although I'm down if you are.
So we'll give Tarquin a look up and down. Like, we'll see how the night goes.
Cheers.
Bugger, I'm going to need earplugs.
I think Lesley will look at the Gim mask and wistfully look at it, like maybe for later, and find some very, like, the laciest sleeve, like, the fanciest shirt, the laciest sleeve, and take that just for, like, a strip over the eyes.
Nice. Kind of a
And he will
Zorro
offer the
mask,
same.
but shit.
He will offer the same to others. We can try and colour them in different colours.
And have a slightly mouldy but nice blanket if Balrick wants something a bit more naturey.
Flower mask, grass mask, pollen everywhere.
You can certainly try.
There's a tree out back in the little garden, right? Sure, we can pull some bark off it,
We can stick some leaves to his face.
drill some holes.
Whittle a mask.
It's just big glasses in the end.
pull like 2 bits of like bark off it, drill a hole in them, and tie them to like some string. Just
Yeah.
Is that Balrick's mask?
I suppose it is.
Cool. Job done. The woodsman comes down. We've
I
got a
love the
veil.
dramatic difference between Chris the player wanting to do a nice masquerade and Balrick not giving a single shit.
Togrim. Tauri obviously has acquired something elsewhere during the festival. Based on the
Is
art.
the Gimp mask a leather thing, isn't it?
Yes. Can
Can Togrim whip out his leather working tools and just, like, trim it down into a more reasonable masquerade?
Absolutely.
Not
Gonna de-gimp the mask?
Job done.
Wow.
Don't even need to roll.
It's just
After everyone else has gone through this absolute shambles, I'm just like,
Actually, I was going to ask Togrim for help.
I think Balrick might turn to Togrim as he sees doing it and go, "You couldn't have told us that before we made our own."
He's been doing it this whole time, I think. It takes him a while to do it, but he's just been on his own, like, to the side, like, ignoring most of it.
Tauri would have asked if Togrim had any blacksmith tools, or, like, metalworking tools.
I do have some smith's tools, yeah.
Cool. Can I borrow them? And you'll help
yes.
after you've finished doing what
Of
you're
course.
doing.
Yep.
And then I'm going to have Togrim, who's probably a bit more experienced than I, and I'm going to help do my mask from the artwork.
Oh, no. You're doing it. Togrim is helping you.
Yes, but I can't give myself inspiration.
I'll allow it for this.
Fine.
Tarquin gives you inspiration.
And I am going to use a 2nd level heat metal to make it a hell of a lot easier.
There is not a forge in it.
No, I don't need it. I just like hold it in my hand. I find a saucepan or something and just melt it. I like get some dye out of my disguise kit, and then
I'm gonna add that to the list of things to buy to replace this. I'm beginning
The saucepan's gonna have just metal grafted to it.
Roll me a smithing tools check.
A beautiful like copper.
This is going to be
pan
intelligence.
Is now just filled
This is your
with
ability to turn a saucepan into a fox face.
Is it just intelligence, nothing else?
You proficient in smith tools?
Jeweler's tools, so no.
I'll allow it to be jewels.
Although I would get half. Can we say half my
Yeah.
proficiency because it's a skill check? So it's an 18 on the die, plus 3 from intelligence, so 21 plus 3, so 24.
That'll do it. Somehow, from a skillet pan, a very nice one at that, you have converted a fox mask with a little bit of the paint from various disguise kits are able to make it at least serviceable for the rest of your attire. It, on close inspection from wealthy elite, might not pass the scratch, but at least upon entry and in motion and at a distance, you look fabulous. At the end of the day, it's still a skillet pad.
Well, it was a skillet pan,
It was a
and
skillet
it's
pan.
melted into a ball and then morphed.
So it's cast iron metal as a mask.
A couple of the bottles have been emptied. I'm not sure how much everyone else is drinking, but Tarquin has had a couple of glasses.
I've been sipping. I'm still on the first glass.
Leslie's had Aderyn's, I think.
Yeah. Had any
Trying to keep my hands steady as I'm painting in the mirror.
Traumatized by Balrick's reaction, what he said to her. But it compressed to the dictation be used to change hair color.
What did Balrick say to her?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for an hour.
For an hour. Sure.
Okay, because she's gonna look in the mirror and she's gonna be like, the gold clashes with the purple. I can't do this. So she's gonna make her hair like super golden blonde to match the rest of. She's just like a golden speck moving around at this point.
Wait, are you just making her the person from Guardians of the Galaxy?
What, Adam?
No, the woman from Guardian, the first one, where it's just like gold skin, gold hair, gold everything.
Canon. Tarquin just looks at you and goes, you are going to be the centre of attention at the ball. So I hope you're prepared for everyone wanting a dance with you. I call dibs.
Here's Ximori, your scary dog privilege.
Right. Are we ready to go then? Excellent.
Yeah.
Come with me. As he leads you out of the house, doesn't even think about locking the door. Important question, because I always forget until it's too late. Is Deck coming?
Yes, of course.
Does he wear a mask?
Fucking fabulous.
Masked ball.
Give him mask.
Deck.
No, does not wear a gimp mask.
You would need to like somehow blend like 4 of them together to get over his face.
Deck does not wear a mask.
They'll
There is
zip
a
together.
mask that fits Deck.
Deck's just himself. With his still got his collar.
Can we put like a little mustache, draw a mustache on him?
Lesley can try to do it stealthily without Balrick noticing.
Leslie's had 2 glasses.
Roll me an animal handling check.
Oh, can it be anything but animal handling?
Yep.
And a stealth.
I'm going to help you
Hand.
because I want this to work.
Okay,
I want
you're
to know if-
distracting Balrick while Lesley gets out the mustache paint.
Is this stealth?
I imagine like
or
I imagine
animal
it's
handling?
less
This is
that I'm
animal handling.
holding- I
Ximori's
imagine it's less that
distracting
and more I'm
you.
just
Yes.
holding Deck still while Leslie paints the mustache.
Sure.
I just want to know if Balrick notices, because Balrick will try to stop this if this is noticed, so that's why
Okay,
I'm saying...
fair enough. Roll stealth first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll also help
Okay,
you
so
with
I have
this
animal
stealth,
handling for later.
Okay.
I've already rolled that.
You have
but,
advantage on
stealth.
the animal handling check.
Oh,
Can I
well,
help
okay.
on the
That's
stealth check?
interesting.
Or do I also have to make a stealth check?
No, you're helping on the animal handling
yeah.
check. Single stealth check's fine. Suck it.
Come on. Why are you still loading my roll?
The suspense is...
So Lesley goes. Ximori's new eyeliner in hand, like sneaking, creeping up towards Deck, and he knocks over every single wine bottle left on the table as he goes. He rolls a nat 1 for a total of 6.
Rosé goes
Ximori is
everywhere.
going. They're doing such a good job holding Derek still.
Derek's just...
The animal handling was 15.
What are you doing?
I'm just giving him a cuddle.
Not you.
Ximori needs more on the face. More stuff on the face.
If you fuck up my makeup after all this time...
He's going for deck. He's Lesley going for deck. Just in like a...
Oh, Ximori, you're so scaly.
I'm going to go for a grapple.
Okay.
12.
Scruff for the neck.
Athletics or acrobatics, Lesley?
Oh, you're grappling me?
Yeah, I'm going to grapple you to try and get you away from deck.
My face hurts.
TPK. TPK.
Oh,
It's only a 12 to beat.
Lesley does have the chance to be grappled by a big man.
He'll take every opportunity you can get.
Doesn't happen so often. Yeah, I beat it. 19.
Balrick trips on the wine that's spilled over. He's like, oh god.
Lesley will try and catch you, but just to right you, not to inappropriately touch.
You sure?
To try and
Falls, he just like the mascara falls across his
face
face and draws a mustache.
Balrick has a second mustache. Togrim's like, right, I think we've had enough to drink beforehand. Let's keep ourselves somewhat capable of dancing on the dance floor and engaging in everything else, shall we? It was rather expensive wine. But better to party than to leave wine unspilled. So, out we go then. This is not heading out into the night. And taking you with him.
Please, he cries desperately as we destroy his mother's house.
We're already going to be fashionably late, let's not make it fashionably drunk as well. And he leads you down to these old city, the central ward, where a number of old houses still stand from decades and centuries of building in Geodothras. And you see a very large townhouse with a crowd outside, a small queue walking up to bodyguards on the bouncers on the outside of leather-armoured, rather bulky dragonborn and a half-orc there, just kind of checking people's tickets and checking people on a name list. As Tarquin approaches, like, Tarquin, Ophidian, Shu, and guests to attend the ball of the Lords. I do think you'll find us on the list. There should be a number of guest passes alongside. And like this dragonborn just like looks at the list and says, "How the fuck did you manage to get that many guest tickets?" Like, I know friends in important places. Now, if you don't mind, I do need another drink. And as you head inside, you come into a large house with a grand foyer, a staircase leading up that splits in two before winding up to the other floors. There are dozens of people around here dressed in ornate dress, but Aderyn and to an extent Lesley as well, what you notice about all of this dress is it is designed at a distance to look plain. You noticed it about Tarquin as you were walking. The brass stitching is so fine and subtle that it just looks like a plain lilac tunic almost. It is like they are trying to show at a distance modesty and almost charitable, like we're not above you status, but then up close you can see the stitching, you can see the embroidery.
And then Aderyn turns up in a gold dress.
With golden hair. The light shines off of her.
Disco ball! Hang up from the ceiling.
As you enter this place,
A trumpet sounds. It sounds a lot like it's saying, "I'm better than you."
Basically walking in like a pimp, like fur coat ready.
No one told me the dress code.
I suspect it would be Aderyn was pure gold, and then as she gets closer, her face becomes like rose gold.
You cannot help but notice Tauri, especially, Balrick definitely. While the party doesn't stop, everyone notices you as you enter, for two reasons. The lavishly, obviously dressed elf, half-elf amongst your midst, who, even despite, look, I am right, Aderyn, with a charisma of 18, you are a very attractive woman. Like, there are a number of people in this room that definitely have that look of, oh, I'm glad I noticed them, kind of thing. There are other people, especially older people, who are more like, a bit distasteful. Like, everyone here is like...
Money versus new money.
Yes, to an extent. But Balrick and Tauri, you definitely notice that the other thing that draws everyone's attention is the guest of honor that no one knew was coming. In a crystal drake at the heels of Balrick, and there is immediately hush whispers going around the entire room. You can feel eyes on you, even though people are trying to be subtle about it.
Is it too late to leave?
Probably.
Yes.
You have to wait a few moments before you go get the punch.
Alright.
Right, I'm going to go say hello to my parents. If any of you wish to come say thanks for the property, you're welcome to, but I should probably go say thanks. Do head out and mingle, find some things to do, grab yourselves a drink, and I suppose I'll meet you around. Feel free to find out and meet people. Anything else before? Nope, excellent.
I'm sorry, do you happen to know anyone here who is linked with the planning or finding this?
Not a clue. You're welcome to find out, though.
I would love to say hello to your parents and to thank them for their generosity.
Well, come along, and he tucks an arm in yours and just starts walking off with you arm in arm.
Duo to leave unsupervised.
Do you all spread out and mingle?
I'm gonna go and get myself a drink.
Balrick will want to stick with someone who can talk. But I think as people start to, he doesn't really know what to do, so whoever's last left with him.
Aderyn will signal him over.
Okay. Balrick is going to be alright, not leaving your side the entire night.
Derek follows in your footsteps, and no one takes their eyes off you three. It's the rest of you very quickly disappear into the shadows of this lighthouse.
And the three most noticeable people.
Just the best thing to do, I know it sounds counterproductive, Balrick, to go right into the middle of the dance floor where everybody is, but weirdly, that's where you notice the least people, and the least people notice you because you're surrounded. So let's just go right in the middle.
That doesn't seem accurate.
Trust me, I'm an expert. Just follow me.
I'll trust what you say.
Gonna shuffle to the middle of the dance floor.
Cool. You guys head there. Togrim, Tauri, and Ximori?
I'm gonna go and find a drink.
Yeah. Same.
I'm just gonna sort of get a feel for the room, just because I'm not entirely comfortable here, and I'd like to know where the exits are.
Cool. You almost do a full tour of the lower floor. You see at this point, the upper floors are currently roped off, but the entire downstairs of this manor is open to everyone. And as you all go around, you notice basically all the events going on. There is an entire wing of the house dedicated to dice games, card games, gambling games, that everyone is, that a lot of people are partaking in as tuxedo-wearing game hosts handle games of Drake's Auction and Jewel of Dice and Gambit of Ord. There is a large dance hall that in the room directly behind the stairs, with wide open crosswork floor paneling, and a band playing live music on the stage, a huge band. There are side chambers where there are food and drinks to the other wing of the house, including entirely fully stocked bars, as well as canapes and people walking around with these, and a number of people engaging in polite conversation, everyone wearing varying forms of masks. But as you begin to settle in to the ball and try to figure your way around it and what you're going to try and do here, I think we'll end this chapter here, as you all kind of figure out what you want to do. So we will zoom out as the music of the ball and the chatter fades into the distance as the lights of the city are up, including the lights of the Midnight Mist, which has reopened as well. We will end this chapter of our story here and pick it up next time. But until then, see you later.